What is up, YouTube? It's Josh. This is the Den of Nerds. This video is going to be all about Star Wars Celebration. I'm basically going to give you my thoughts and recap everything that happened during the weekend and what I think about it. So let's get right into it. So first of all, I want to break it down by day, and you'll know that I did a Rogue One recap that pretty much covers everything that happened, at least in my opinion, the big stuff on day one, and that was the Rogue One day. I'm also going to do a separate video for day two with regards to Rebels, because I think that Rebels stole the entire show, and it's so much content that I'm going to do a separate video with just stuff about Rebels Season 3. However, I am not going to do a video about day 3, and this is because day 3 was really kind of a bust. There wasn't a lot of cool stuff that was talked about, and part of the big problem people have been saying that they've had with Celebration is that there was a real letdown on day 3, and a lot of people think that day 1 was mishandled too. So the basic idea, or if you were to take a temperature of what people think online, a lot of people are super duper disappointed with Star Wars Celebration. People spend, thousands of dollars to go there, and it's like a mecca for any Star Wars fan. People love this sort of thing, and a lot of people feel ripped off, and they feel like they really didn't get their bang for their buck. That's at least what I'm hearing and seeing online. I don't personally agree with it. Now, I didn't obviously go, so I didn't spend that kind of money, so I don't know how I would feel if I had. But from everything I saw in the production, I was really impressed. I thought Warwick Davis did an amazing job as a host. So much energy for the whole 3 days. Really crazy to see. Great dude. But that's just the basic overview of it. A lot of people are disappointed. I don't personally agree with that, but that's the state of affairs. So let's break it down by day. So day 1, I started watching the stream really early in the morning. They had a lot of the model building, and some people come on and talk about the process of practical effects from episode 4 all the way to Phantom Menace. A lot of people don't realize this, but Phantom Menace was actually a culmination of the future technology that would happen in Revenge of the Sith and the technology that started with A New Hope. This was because you have to remember that he put 3 years between these films, and that's a lot of time. A decade between 3 films. The technology improves vastly in that time. So when Phantom Menace came out, they still did a lot of modeling. All the backgrounds in those films are practical, with a lot of the foregrounds and foreground characters being digital. You'll remember that that was the last time they used the Yoda puppet, and I wasn't really crazy about the puppet version of Yoda in Phantom Menace, but I did find that panel really, really interesting, and it was really, really cool. They then jumped in, and there was the Rogue One panel, which, as I said, I did a separate video for, recapping exactly what happened in there, but they basically gave us a sizzle reel. They had almost like a huge Q&A with Gareth Edwards. They had the cast come out, answer some questions. Jiang Yen basically ruined a lot of stuff for everybody. And no trailer, though. That was a big thing. There was no trailer. People were really expecting that trailer, or maybe some Vader. Maybe, in the way that they brought Ben Mendelsohn out as Krennic, a lot of people were expecting that to be Vader, like bring Vader out, and everybody would have lost their minds. But that didn't happen. Now, my personal impression was that the Rogue One panel was still a success. I wasn't really bothered by the fact that there was no trailer. However, I do believe that there is something going on with regards to the reshoots and why they are holding their cards close to the vest. I think that they're in this really weird situation in Celebration where they're trying to not put any spotlight on episode 8. They want to leave Rogue One in the limelight, but they're also not showing a lot of Rogue One, and it feels like this really cognitive dissonance kind of thing going on, where Disney is trying to put the spotlight on something that they're not really showing a lot of. It's very strange. But then we move into day 2. Now, I didn't get to watch the live streams of day 2. I was too busy. I was at the day job, actually. But this is where Thrawn broke the internet. And I'm going to do a whole separate video on Rebels and on Thrawn. I'm going to give you a Thrawn 101, so look for that video coming out. But the bottom line is that panel and the Ahsoka panel before it, and actually even before that, there was a panel with Anthony Daniels and Warwick Davis. Those two guys were awesome. They have a really good chemistry. They're very funny and professionals, consummate professionals, as Anthony Daniels likes to remind everybody on Twitter. So that panel was a lot of fun. I did actually get to see that before I went into work. And then I heard about the Ahsoka Tano panel. Very interesting news came out of the Ahsoka Tano panel, in which Dave Filoni said that we probably have not seen the last of Ahsoka Tano. He said that he never likes to listen to fan service because you can't please everybody, so you shouldn't just listen to the fans and try to do what they want, which I totally understand. But he did say that the fan response after the Twilight of the Apprentice finale from last season was so strong that he did reconsider. So good job, fans, because now Ahsoka's probably going to return in Rebels and show up in some way, which I think is really, really cool. But then you had the Rebels panel itself. Sam Witwer, who is awesome. If you haven't seen the Jedi Council that Collider does, that had Freddie Prinze Jr. and Sam Witwer on together, you have to see it. It's amazing. Really, really awesome dude. Actually had the chance to see him at Origins a couple years back in Columbus, Ohio. Really nice guy, really, really cool. Now he's probably so busy he doesn't go to little cons like that. But he was awesome. They had Ty, I believe is her name, the girl who does the voice actor who does Sabine on the show. They showed some clips, really, really cool stuff. I'm not going to go into too much detail because, like I said, I'm doing more videos on that. But the state of Rebels just looks awesome, and they literally stole Celebration, in my opinion. I mean, Thrawn is such a big deal. For people who have been following Star Wars for a long, long time, there was that 15-year gap in between the movies where there was really not much coming at you. And in new canon, Timothy Zahn picked up some of those pieces and gave us an amazing trilogy, and Thrawn was such a good villain. Some people say he's the best villain in Star Wars. I don't know if I'd go that far, but he's definitely up there, and I'm super jacked up that he's in canon now. Timothy Zahn is working on a novel, a Thrawn novel, which is going to hit April of next year. I mean, it's crazy. There's so much Star Wars goodness going on right now. And I thought that the Rebels panel did a great job of just breaking the internet and really stealing the show, in my opinion. So let's go to day 3. So not a lot to talk about in day 3. And there's a couple things that are really curious to me. Now, the Mark Hamill panel was awesome. Mark is a great dude, lots of energy. He reads some lines from The Killing Joke, which was super nerd service. He, can't give answers to the questions we really want to know the answers to, but he did talk about some of the cool things that happened in episodes 1 through 7, which he wasn't a part of 1, 2, and 3 or whatever, but you know what I mean. He knows what was going on, and he was a part of the Disney family. He told this really interesting story about how when episode 4 was first being made, he asked George Lucas if there was a way he could get one of everything. He wanted to get on this list and get one of everything when it came to merchandising, like t-shirts and toys. And George said, "Oh yeah, I don't see how that's a problem." And they put him on this list. And the thing that's crazy is they didn't probably know how much merch was going to be coming out for the rest of time. And now Mark Hamill has one of the biggest, most vast collections of Star Wars merchandise in the world. His accountant will call him and make sure that he puts certain things into storage and things like that, because these things are they're assets. They're worth serious money, which is kind of funny. But yeah, the Mark Hamill panel was great. But then what was really interesting to me is everybody was really curious about the future filmmakers panel, okay? Because they talked about the Han Solo film, Aaron Eckhart came out, they had Ryan Johnson there, and Lord and Miller, and everybody was hoping for a little taste of episode 8, or maybe the title, maybe a poster, anything. And the thing that's weird is the panel wasn't streamed, so everybody was really thinking, wow, they're going to drop some big news because it's not even going to go out on the live stream. They don't want people to know about it. But it really seems like not much was even said that we didn't know about. And they didn't announce that third mystery film. Everybody was wondering, what that third mystery anthology, or I guess now Star Wars story film, is going to be. Now, this was originally going to be the Boba Fett film with Josh Trank, and you know what I mean? Like, they should still make that happen, because I don't care what happened with Fantastic Four. That's a studio thing, and yeah, Josh didn't act the way that a professional should, and probably ruined a lot of opportunities for himself, but he's a super talented guy, and I'd love to see Disney like just give the guy a second chance. Probably not going to happen, but it'd be really cool to see that Fett movie. But that panel really didn't do anything. And then you go to the closing ceremony, and it was almost this vibe where it's like, wait a minute, is that really it? Is that really all we've got going on today? I mean, we didn't even get a trailer for Rogue One. Now, apparently there was a trailer shown at Celebration, and I saw the leaked version of it, which was terrible quality, but I did it for you guys because I wanted to see if there's anything I could pick up on and report to you about. Nothing really going on. I mean, they show Vader, but we knew Vader was going to be in it, so I don't really know. I think that Day 3 was definitely a letdown, and I don't know, they might want to think about restructuring the way that they release some of this news, because that Rebels panel stole just everything. People are probably more excited for Rebels Season 3 than they are for Rogue One, possibly even Episode 8, which is crazy to think about, but I can't really blame them. Twilight of the Apprentice, which if you haven't seen, go do that right now. Stop watching the video right now. Go watch Twilight of the Apprentice in any way you can. This is the season finale of Rebels Season 2. It's some of the best Star Wars I've ever seen with my eyes on a screen, just period. Like movies, TV, everything. It's incredible stuff, captivating stuff. So it's really nice to see that Rebels is getting this kind of recognition, but at the same time, it kind of feels like a misstep by Disney. And I'm not sure if they're going to be announcing some stuff at Comic-Con this coming week, and maybe they're kind of trying to space this out, but it seemed a little aloof, a little all over the place. I wasn't really sure what they were trying to accomplish with it. I mean, this is their big stage for Star Wars. I was really hoping to get just a little bit more. The flip side of that is we're totally spoiled. I mean, we're getting Thrawn in canon. Rogue One looks awesome. We're getting all this content, and it's really cool stuff. But it did kind of seem like they dropped the ball on Day 3. We have no idea what this third movie is going to be in the anthology films, and we don't really have any more information on Episode 8. So kind of interesting stuff. But let me know in the comments section, did you watch any of the streams? Did you check out what was going on in Celebration? Do you feel let down, or are you like totally okay with it? I mean, personally, I am okay with what happened. I just feel like they missed a lot of opportunities when it comes to Episode 8 especially, and that Day 3 just seemed, I don't know if everybody was just fatigued or whatever, but it just seemed low energy, not a lot of news coming out. It really did not impress me. But that's all I've got for this video, guys. Alright, let's check that nerd card. So we're going to go Star Wars. We're going to go kind of a deep cut. It's not too crazy. But what was the name of the painter / concept artist that was first brought on by George Lucas in order to pitch Star Wars to the studios, and his work is now archived at Lucasfilms, and it's a lot of the inspiration for the stuff we get in canon now. As an example, the Ghost, which is the ship in Rebels, was the original design for the Millennium Falcon, which was made by this painter. Put his name in the comment section below as your answer. Like the video, share it to your friends. Make sure you subscribe, because I'm going to be doing that Thrawn 101 video, and I'm going to be doing a big video about Rebels Season 3, because I got really jacked up about it. So let me know about that stuff. I hope you guys are having an awesome and nerdy day. See ya!